Hello, greetings. Okay, so let's talk about labor with Miss Andes Nganamba. Yes, so let's start with the definition. How do we define labor? How do we define labor? Alright, in my definition, I'm saying labor basically this is nothing but the process by which the product of conception, that is the fetus, the placenta, and its membranes are expelled from the uterus after 28 weeks of gestation or after viability. Yes, that's the definition of labor. So when defining labor, it's imperative that we talk about the products of conception, which are the fetus, the placenta, and membranes. So these are expelled from the uterus after 28 weeks of gestation or viability. Yes, so whenever defining labor, we need to make sure that we include all these in our definition. Then from the definition, we can now talk about the factors that regulate the onset of labor. Yes, let's talk about the factors that regulate the onset of labor. Okay, so what we need to know is the fact that the causes of labor is unknown, but there are some factors that are believed to cause what? Labor. So what are those factors? We have the first factor, which is hormonal factor. The second factor is mechanical factor. And the third factor is what? Biochemical factors. Yes, so these are the factors that are believed what? To cause or to bring about what? Labor. Yes, so let's start with the first factor, which is hormonal factor. Yes, so here we're simply talking about the role of what? Hormones. Okay, so here we can talk about the progesterone and oxytocin what? Ratio. Yes, we can talk about progesterone and oxytocin. Okay, so what we need to know is for a fact that during pregnancy, there is a hormone which maintains the integrity of what? Pregnancy. And that hormone we call it what? Progesterone. This progesterone, it is the one that is responsible in prevention what? In the prevention of what? In the prevention of spontaneous abortion. It maintains the integrity of pregnancy. It keeps pregnancy until what? Until term. So as term approaches, the level of progesterone drops. Okay? So that will bring about what? A surge in amount of what? Oxytocin, which is released by the pituitary gland. Okay, so this oxytocin, it is the one that brings about uterine what? Contractions. The second factor is mechanical factor. Yes, so under mechanical factor, here we're simply talking about the pressure on the what? On the uterus. Okay? As the pregnancy grows, we find that there will be pressure, there will be overstretching of the uterus. So that will bring about what? Labor. Not only that, the pressure of the presenting part, on the cervix, it also brings about what? Labor. Yes. Then under biochemical factors, here we're simply talking about prostaglandins. Here we're simply talking about prostaglandins. So prostaglandin, it is basically released by the decidual cells. Okay? Prostaglandins are released by the decidual cells. So when this prostaglandin is released, this prostaglandin, it brings about, or it induces the production of what? Enzymes. Those enzymes will bring about softening of the cervix. Okay? And that will cause cervical dilatation. Hence, bring about labor. Yes. So these are the common factors that regulates the onset of labor. So from these factors, we can talk about the true signs of labor. We can talk about the true signs of labor. Okay, so on the true signs of labor, we all know for a fact that we have true signs and we also have false signs. So on the true signs of labor, we can talk about painful, rhythmic, uterine contractions. Yes, painful, rhythmic uterine contractions. That's the first true sign of labor. The second one is presence of show. Yes, that's another true sign of labor. Other than that, we can also talk about cervical dilatation. Yes, then finally we can talk about presence of the presenting part. Presence of the presenting part in the cervix, in the vagina. Yes, so these are the true signs of labor. We have painful rhythmic uterine contractions, presence of show, cervical dilatation, and also presence of the presenting part in the vagina. These are the true signs of labor. How about the false signs? So in the false signs, uterine contractions, they are irregular. Okay? In the false signs, show is absent. Okay? In false signs, there is no cervical dilatation. Then, when we talk about the presence of the presenting part, there is no presenting part that is present in the vagina. Okay? So those are the true signs and the false signs. Talking about the factors which affect the duration of labor. Let us talk about the factors which affect the duration of labor. So there are 4 factors which affect the duration of labor. And we can call those as the 4 P's. Okay? The 4 P's. What are those? We have the first one, which is passage. The second one is passenger. The third one is power. And the fourth one is what? The fourth one is psychology. Yes. Oh, yes, we can talk about psychological factor. Yes. So these are the 4 P's. These are the factors which affect the duration of labor. So how does passage affect the duration of labor? So here we're simply talking about the path, the birth canal, the path through which the fetus will do what will use. So if the passage is insufficient, labor will be what? Prolonged. We can talk about the passenger. So here also we talk about the size of the fetus. Okay, so there are conditions such as macrosomia babies that will bring about what? Difficult labor, because the passenger is too big to pass through the what? The birth canal. We also have power. So when we talk about power, here we're not talking about the ability of the woman to push. No, but we're talking about the rhythm of what? Uterine contractions. If uterine contractions are weak, that will bring about what? Prolonged labor. And here, when we talk about the last one, which is psychological factor. On the psychological factor, we're simply talking about the psychological state of a woman. So if the woman is anxious or if the woman is stressed, that will bring about what? Prolonged labor. Yes.